Hi, everybody. It's Sergio with the RideShare Guy. Welcome to another episode of Behind the Wheel. Today, I'm joined by Dionne from Atlanta. Good. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. What about yourself?
Good, good. I wanted to do this with Dionne for a while because, she's one of the drivers, obviously a veteran, but I'm going to allow her to introduce herself. Go ahead and do that.
All right. So my name is Dionne Maxwell, and I've been a driver on both Uber and Lyft for roughly about 8.5 years. So basically, I was in college at the time when I heard about it at Georgia State University. So I really didn't. I heard something about black cars and like limousines or whatever, taking people places, but it really didn't concern me because I had just a plain regular car. So a friend of mine actually told me about it because I had a Nissan Pathfinder at the time. They said, "Hey, there's something called Uber now, and people are taking people places and in their car, and all the driving you do for different jobs and stuff. This might be perfect for you. You don't even have to have a taxi license." I said, "Okay, I'm gonna check it out." And he said, "Yeah, and you can take more people. You make more money because you got an SUV." I said, "Okay, I'm on it." So I immediately went and signed up for both, got approved for both. But I started Uber first because Lyft wasn't as popular around that time in Atlanta. It kind of just slipped its way through when I got onto the platform.
Yeah, you said 8.5 years, right? I mean, that makes you a definite solid veteran. And I'm sure you have seen the good, the bad, the ugly. And you're also from Atlanta. I mean, we do look, crime is crime these days, obviously. It can happen to anybody anywhere, but not a day goes by that we read about a driver getting carjacked or shot and killed or whatever. As a female driver, first of all, give us your hours, how many hours you drive, how many trips you've gotten under your belt, and let's talk a little bit about safety.
So basically, I got some funny hours. So basically, I'm one of those early risers. The early bird gets the worm. So I get up at 3 a.m. I'll start out at about 3:30 or 3:45 a.m. And this is with doing XL only. So if I was doing regular, of course, I could go a little bit longer. But since I do XL with those type of trips, you're getting a lot of airport runs, you get people going to work, getting off work from third shift, and going to doctor's appointments. So around between 8 and 9 o'clock, those type of trips cut off for me. And I'm pretty much done unless I go into taking somebody far away and got to come back and may get another ride, or it's just hot that morning. If it's hot and they're coming, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
Um, so that's Monday through Friday. I was doing overnight for all these years up until a month ago. And I kind of wrote in about this as well. So I'm not going to go into too many details of it, but it's not involving believe it or not, a passenger. It's just law enforcement bothering you. But I used to do overnight as well. I start at, even though I work Friday morning, I'll go back out Friday night, start at 8:30 at night and go to roughly 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. I did that Friday and Saturday night. So right now it's just a Monday through Friday thing.
Okay. The point, when I ask you about safety, obviously, right? There aren't too many female drivers, let alone driving the overnight shift, but even driving, right? There are about only 25% of all drivers are female. What have you seen as far as your safety is concerned, improvement in the recording, voice and audio recording in the apps? Do you have a dash cam? What are you doing for your safety when you're driving?
Um, Basically, I do not have a dash cam. That's something I actually need to invest in. Uber did have that in the app at one time. So I can read people very, very well. I'm really good at reading a person and kind of reacting to the situation to keep the situation calm. So if I see somebody's getting in that's drunk, of course, they're going to talk their smack, whatever they got to do, try to. But I'm one of those drivers that's not going to take it. And I'll hit recording the ride. So whenever you hit record the ride, when we did have the feature with Uber, it's going to send them an alert that this ride is being recorded.
Yeah.
So they pretty much will try to calm down then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Uber still has that, by the way, in voice and audio recording. But no, I mean, I do get it that it seems like though you have figured out a certain time slot for yourself that works for you. Obviously, you have a family. I'm sure you have kids. you're juggling it. So I asked this to everybody towards the end, but I'm going to ask you earlier. Give me a couple of things you like about rideshare. And look, as far as I'm concerned, rideshare is not all bad. I mean, a lot of people complain. Obviously, they complain about earnings, they complain about safety, they complain about unjust deactivations. I get it. Those are all valid points. But and talk to me a little bit about that. Talk to me about a couple of good things about it and a couple of things that you don't like and you would like the companies to adjust or change.
So basically, I come from a sales background. So I'm originally not from Atlanta. I've been here, it'll be 19 years in May. I'm originally from a small town in Jackson, Tennessee. So I came here in the sales game selling credit cards and pretty much been in sales ever since. So I treat rideshare like the sales game. So when you're in sales, things are going to change. You got to be subject to change. You got to make your adjustments to it. So not only complain about it, if you complain about it, hey, you might as well not do it. So the good thing about rideshare, it does have different tiers of vehicles. So if you see you got a car and you're running it in the ground, hey, you might want to upgrade to an XL vehicle. So pretty much I've been off and on XL most of the time, but I ended up upgrading my vehicle recently. It's a black vehicle, but unfortunately doesn't qualify for a black. But I mean, there's some pros and cons to being a black driver as well. You're
Yeah.
even less busy than what I am. They take my XL rides or even comfort rides to keep themselves busy. So you got to kind of adjust yourself to the game and maybe get another vehicle. Make that investment in a bigger vehicle where you can make more per ride. So it's really not all so as bad. It's all about what you make of it. You may have to adjust your hours. I mean, you can't work this like a 9 to 5 job. It's very well impossible. It's not going to work because you get started now. And guess what? That's when it slows down, even for regular rides. And then it's not going to pick up. It may pick up at lunchtime if you decide to do some Uber Eats and maybe throw a little Doordash in,
Yeah.
but you're going to be sitting out here for nothing. And you just kind of drive when nobody else wants to drive. So you mentioned about, there's very few women drivers. Yes, I have an SUV and it's black. I have not yet seen a lady driving like the type of vehicle that I drive. If so, they're a limo driver.
Yeah.
And that's very, very rare. And so I get a lot of surprises. Oh, this is your car? I'm like, yeah, this me. This me. You're a little bitty self-driving this? I'm on it,
Yeah.
And I kind of talk to them, and make those conversations. But what you get out of it is what you make of it, is what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say.
I mean,
Um,
I can see you being successful at anything that you do, okay? Your attitude is correct, right? You have a great smile, and you have a sales background, right? I mean, look, we are in the service industry. I mean, we're picking up people. Look, what did our parents tell us when we were younger, right? Don't get in a car with a stranger. Well, what is rideshare? Rideshare is exactly that. We pick up 10, 20, 30 people a day who we have never seen before, and most likely will not see again. But in order to increase your tips, in order to increase your income, you're in the service industry. Look, the passengers don't know anything about the CEOs of Uber and Lyft. They only know you, right? You're the
right.
face of the company. So give me a couple of things you like about this rideshare gig, and give me a couple of things you don't like about the rideshare gig.
All right, so I'm gonna start with the positive first, and then maybe go into the negative, just a little bit. So the positive things I like about it is like I get to choose my schedule. So I'm actually a mother of six. I'm married to my husband. We'll be married for 6 years, back together 7 years. I tell this story to my pastors. I have them just go with the wind with my love story because we've been off and on for 20 years a few times. But basically, I have children at home. I got four at home now, but I got a total of 6 kids. So having a lot of kids, and most of the time before the 6 years, I started off, I was a single mother.
Okay.
It basically at one point I was homeless and had to live out of a hotel. And if it wasn't for Uber at the time, because I was renting a car through this company, so I only could do Uber, I would be on the streets. So it kept help funded that. And then now with my busy schedule that I have, especially we actually have an online beauty supply store as well. It helps fund the business and works to help pay bills. This quick money. I can pay myself same day. If I need $200 or $300 for something right now, I know I can go out here and try to make the money to get that done with my car, with my truck, and I just gas it up, whatever I got to do, and go from there. So that's a positive aspect of it, because it provides a quick income as well. You don't have to wait on a check. You don't have to boss. a boss. If you got a small business on the side, it's hard when starting a small business, especially if you're funding out of pocket. It works with funding your business as well. Now to the not so good things about rideshare. So coming from a sales background, I know this very well. You'll start off in a sales job. The money's gonna be great. They're gonna be paying you off the wall for stuff. Then you'll notice, okay, now these bonuses are coming down. They're raising your tier, this and that to hit certain bonuses. They're cutting the pay. So that's what's going on in rideshare right now. The pay is less. Like I said, it's all about what you make of it. So the
Yeah.
money that I'm making in my SUV now, I actually should be making double. But at the same time, I think of it as in the sales game, sales sector, things change. As companies grow, of course they're going to cut back. They got more expenses, this, that, and the other. And now that, Uber and Lyft is public, they have to show a profit, to their investors. And unfortunately, us drivers have taken a cut from that. So
Yeah.
besides all of that, the money is really my biggest complaint about it. I'm not making as much as I should be making because I know what I used to make per ride in the past, and now it's less now. And as far as the people, it's really not too bad because, like I said, I read people well. I know how to handle situations. I've been in very, very bad situations and not been touched at this point where I've sent people to jail. And it's all about my attitude. I've taken a free psychology classes. I can read people. I know what to say to people, not to get them to act a plum fool and just kill me or whatever they got to do.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can tell that's why you've been doing it for 8.5 years because your attitude is amazing. Because, to me, attitude is half the job. I mean, if you're gonna hate something, doing it, stop doing it. There's no reason, right? I mean, why be miserable and keep doing something, right? While we're at it, talking about pay, I collect about up to 100 cities now, right? The Uber, sends you the in-app messaging saying, "Oh, get out there and drive between, 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. You could make this much money or whatever." From my findings or data, I can see that Atlanta is not one of the better paying cities. It's actually in the bottom 10, right? Pay
Wow,
has,
that's surprising. That's
yeah, it is.
surprising to me.
Well, that's you. That's for X, Uber X, and you do Excel, so I'm sure that's why
Yeah,
you're doing better. But you have seen the pay decline, correct? I mean, and
correct.
you have seen your costs increase. I mean, inflation, right? I mean, we're paying so much more for everything these days, from tires to gas to whatever, not insurance. So connecting these two dots, what do you think about these strikes and protests and things that are going on that I kind of support myself? I mean, at some point, are you in favor of, like, let's say what's happening in Minneapolis now? Are you in favor of legislation? Are you in favor of regulation? What do you think about these things for a couple of minutes?
I mean, well, this is my opinion. So I talked this over with my husband. So it's a good thing I'm on the call with you. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna give you my input on it. So
yeah,
it can have its goods and its bads. So right now we are classified as 1099 independent contractors, meaning if we don't want to take a ride, we don't have to. And if we don't want to work, we don't have to. And we make our money. On the flip side of it, if like we're offered like health benefits or a certain amount per hour, now we're gearing into putting you in an employee category. So with being an employee is totally different. Like right now, we pay our own taxes. Okay, it's not a bad thing. We drive so many miles. They send us stuff at the end of the year. I use only miles for my tax returns. That's it. I don't
yeah,
do nothing else. Don't have to because the miles itself will write you down. But when you're an actual employee, that means if you're an employee, the employer pays half the tax, you pay half the tax. You're not paying as much taxes. You are offered benefits, this, that, and the other. But now an employer can regulate when you can work and when you can't work. So what if I want to work my regular shift that I'm working and they say, oh no, you got to work from noon to 5,
yeah,
or we're not gonna give you this guarantee per hour, then I'm not gonna want to do it.
yeah,
Because like I said, they send, like you said, the in-out message so you can make what $18 per hour. I average double or triple of that
yeah.
with my trips. So, even with doing regular, I used to average $20 an hour. And I'm talking about this was 4 or 5 years ago because I was so strategic
Yeah.
in the trips and stuff that I take.
Yeah. I mean, look, obviously you saw that though, right? You said it, a couple of minutes ago. You adjusted, right? You go to upper platform and you want, I mean, the game it's a game, right? It's constantly moving. But no, I do agree with you that, these companies obviously do offer the flexibility. You know, nobody's putting a gun to anybody's head to do this, right? You can delete the app and go away, do something else. So let's talk a little bit about something else. And you said you have a small business that you're running. It actually funds your small business. So, you know, rideshare is not a career. It's something that you do for a while, stepping stone. I look at it as like a stepping stone from point A to point B, and then always should have a backup plan. Look, because they can fire you. I call it firing. I don't know. They call it deactivation. I'm like, I'm not buying any of that. It's getting fired. You know, talk to me a little bit about what you're doing currently as a side hustle of a side hustle, which is your rideshare, and then what your future plans are going to be with your small business.
So basically, my husband and we own an online beauty supply store for women and men. So that's like ethnic hair care, skin care. We have fashion, we have clothes for women
You
and
can
men.
mention the name. You can mention the name.
It's Maxwell Collections, LLLP. I do have a business card
Ah,
I can
there
put
you
up
go.
there.
See, businesswoman right there.
Yeah, yeah. So just look for the blue logo with Maxwell Collections. So I pretty much we found it formatted the business in 2020, but launched in 2021. So
Yeah,
rideshare helped fund it because with that, you're going to have licenses, this, that, and the other. Like we got everything across the board, not just the EIN number. We are a business, except we're online and don't have a brick and mortar store. But that is changing relatively soon. So everybody stay tuned. But rideshare help fund that with inventory. You got inventory costs, you got bills each month, you got business bank account, this, that, and the other that you got to keep up. And so that helped fund our business. So what I'm doing now, we know rideshare is not guaranteed. Your car is not going to last forever. I bought my car brand new 3 years ago. I've got 140,000 miles on it. I
yeah,
put everything but 200 miles, and the 200 miles was put on it when they brought it from Tennessee here because that's because they didn't have it on a lot here, so they had to bring it from somewhere else because that's the type of car I wanted. I wanted certain stuff on it. So I got that many miles on the truck, and it's a Nissan Armada, so it'll probably get about 450,000 miles
yeah.
on it total. But 10 years from now, it's not gonna go that long. So you're gonna have to buy another car. So with that being said, I need something that I can call mine, and the only person that can kick me off is the city or the state if I'm breaking codes, this, that, and the other. So I use RideShare to fund that and build that up because starting a small business is not easy. You're not going to come in the door making money. Like I said, we've been in business, it's going on 4 years at this point, and we are still building. And if it wasn't for Uber and Lyft, I'm going to tell you right now, like we would have folded a year and a half ago because there's no way no regular job is not going to pay me enough money to take care of my family, even my husband, and then with him working and fund the business. And to speak on that, he was a rideshare driver at once. He was one of the unfortunate ones that got kicked off Uber, and then he got kicked off Lyft about a year ago. I know you
Yeah.
don't want me putting it out there like that, but I'm a very transparent person,
No,
and I
no,
let people know the nitty gritty of that because if he had only listened to me, he would have probably still been on, because I'm a fighter, and,
yeah.
and
I
it's
mean,
not easy.
what, if you don't mind me asking, what happened with him? I mean, did they unjustly deactivate him or what happened?
Well, with Uber, it was pretty much a self-inflicted wound, so I'm not gonna go into that. It was about
Yeah,
the type of vehicle. You gotta go by the rules. But with Lyft, people lying. People want to get a free ride, and he tell them no. He's a man driver. So some of you men get false reports on you. Oh, he tried to do this. He tried to do that when that wasn't the case. And so they'll send you that little email or message. And I've always, said respond to everything. Fight, fight, fight. Even if you're innocent, you respond to every single thing they send, and you send screenshots or whatever you got to send.
yeah,
Watch your rating every day after every ride. You make sure you watch your rate so you'll know who gave you that 1 star or
yeah,
said something. This is what I do because I've had people lie on me, said I appeared drunk, and when I was 7 months pregnant, not too long ago. So Lyft like temporarily deactivated me for 3 minutes. Three
wow.
minutes because I was so on top of it that I said, "Hey, I'm pregnant. Show them a picture of my belly. I don't drink. They're lying. I already 1 starred this person because they was giving me a problem and they wanted me to do this and I wouldn't. 3 minutes, I was back on.
Yeah, I mean,
Quick
these are
like
the
that.
things, these are the things that people don't like about these rideshare companies that, but at their scale, they're so massive, right? I mean, if they fire you, right, they have 10 other drivers waiting in line to join, right? But I don't think, they should treat humans like that. They don't treat us like humans at certain points, right? We're just a number to them. We're here today,
Right,
gone tomorrow. But I am glad you are doing what you're doing because, again, this is not a career, right? And you're using it as a stepping stone. You're using it as a, cash flow generating a business for your other business, which is going to take you to retirement, which is going to grow a lot faster because you have total control. In rideshare, you don't have control. You just turn the app on and you go wherever it tells you to go, right? So I want to ask you, are you a cherry picker or are you an ant?
you okay? Dionne cherry picking is the absolute most of the most. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I do not average $40 to $50 an hour by taking every ride, and I might complete 20 rides in a week and make $1,000.
Yeah,
That's how cherry picking I am. It has to be a certain dollar amount. If it's not, I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know if I should say this. If it don't say $20, I'm not moving.
yeah,
But
well,
just because it say $20 don't mean I'm gonna move.
yeah,
Because like comfort is starting to pay less. So if it say $20 and I gotta go 25 miles, no, not taking it. I'm turning comfort off. That's why I hadn't turned comfort on in 2 weeks because they just went down on what they paying us for comforts. Now you're paying what they pay for regular. And I just said I don't do regular. I can't afford to spend $50 a day on gas and do regular rides. I'm giving away time at this point.
yeah,
So therefore, it has to say a certain dollar amount. Not saying the minimum is the 20. Now, Lyft have got these promotions and stuff that they do where they offer a little bit more. Now, if it's 3 miles and that's 14, $15, no, I'm getting that over.
yeah,
That's but I look at the miles and I look at the map. If you got me going back to where I came from, and I just came from that area, and I know there's traffic, go back in the area. One time it was 30 some dollars. I said, nope, not doing it. I'm going this way. I'm not at goal, so I kept going this way, and I end up catching something, where I'm going to it and not having
yeah,
to get back on the interstate. Go in this traffic on I-20 South where it's snail. No, I'm not gonna do that.
yeah. All right.
You got to
So,
look at the map and everything.
I mean, I mean, I could talk to you all day because you just have this personality that is just, we can literally talk about anything all day, not just rideshare, but have a few minutes remaining. First of all, I want you to be healthy. I want you to stay safe. All these things, obviously, but give me 30 seconds on how much longer you're going to be doing rideshare, right? And then to finish with, I want you to give our audience some advice. It doesn't have to be rideshare advice. It's just to be general advice, because it seems like you have the right mindset to give our audience some advice. So how much longer you're going to be doing rideshare and the advice part of it?
All right, so the ride share is a thing. You're self-employed, so I'm never gonna stop. Okay, I can get to a point where I want to retire, but guess what? I'm gonna do at least one trip a month to keep myself active. Because even though I have my business, it gets successful, this, that, and the other. What if I want to go splurge or take a $1,000 trip or something, or go on a $300 dinner, or me and my husband, or something like that?
Yeah,
Hey, I'm gonna turn the app on, go make that money
yeah,
and do it. So I'm never gonna ever stop it completely. I'm just gonna, not make it as a within the next couple of years at this point. The way our business is taking off right now, and that's really, with TikTok and some other things going on. We've got a shop on there. It actually brought us out of the red, by the way. We're taking off, and soon we'll still start being able to pay ourselves. And then I do ride share less and less, but I'll never stop doing ride share. And then, far as when we go into advice with anybody else, whether it's life or ride share, whatever, I think of one thing, and that's consistency. Consistency is the key to success. So if you're not consistent, you're not going to survive in rideshare. You're not going to survive in doing your own business, and you have to be persistent. You have to be consistent and persistent in whatever you do, and subject to change. Change with the environment. That's all about becoming successful. You're going to have your good. You're going to have your bad. Sometimes you just got to take the bad, make the most of the bad, see what you can do to do better. And then whether that's in life or ride share or whatever you're doing, seek out sources. There are people out here that will help you. These groups, they're on Facebook. These groups are on YouTube. Do a search. I'm always searching and reading and find up new stuff. New stuff. That's how I found you guys. Is with YouTube, I kind of been watching and doing everything ever since. I take y'all advice and I go with it, and I with my own expertise. That's why I'm on the platform for so long, because it's not easy to be
Yeah,
on this platform for 8.5 years
yeah,
without being deactivated.
yeah. I agree with you. And here's Dionne from Atlanta. I want to thank you. I really, really want to thank you. I appreciate it. To give us your time. And you said you have the kids, you have the family, you have the business, you have the husband, you have all this stuff going, and you're still doing it. I'm like, my hat's off to you. That's all I can tell you. And you'll be safe out there. Please, please go get a dash cam. It's not that expensive.
I know.
But stay healthy. I wish you the best, your family the best, and your business the best. I'm definitely gonna keep in touch with you and probably do a follow up. But again, here's Deanne from Atlanta. Thank you.
All right, you're very welcome.
Thanks for watching this episode of Behind the Wheel on the RideShare Guy. We've been doing these interviews for the past 6 months with very successful drivers from different cities around the nation. Click here for another episode. Make sure you subscribe and turn on all notifications for other episodes of Behind the Wheel, as well as amazing content on our channel.